You think you're doing the right thing. You've raised your kids, worked hard your whole life, maybe even buried a spouse, and now, it's finally time to slow down. Simplify. Maybe even get some help around the clock. So you downsize, say goodbye to the house you built memories in, and move into a nursing home, because, well, everyone says it's safer. Easier. Smarter. But let me ask you something, have you ever made a decision that felt right in the moment? And yet, months later, you felt a quiet ache in your chest? A whisper that said, "This isn't how I pictured my life." You're not alone. Because here's what nobody tells you, nursing homes can take more than just your address. They can take your rhythm. Your privacy. Your choices. Sometimes, even your identity. And the saddest part? Most people don't even realize it's happening, until they already feel like a ghost in their own life. Maybe you've noticed it in someone else. A parent who used to light up when you walked in the room, now barely speaks. An aunt who always wore pearls and lipstick, now always in pajamas. A neighbor who once ruled the bingo table, now stares blankly at the TV, all day long. And maybe you're seeing it in yourself. Look, I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to tell the truth, the kind you won't find in a glossy brochure or a facility tour. Because many older adults regret moving into nursing homes. They just don't say it out loud. So today, I'm pulling back the curtain. In this video, I'll walk you through 5 raw, personal, and eye-opening truths about nursing home life, truths I wish someone had told me sooner. If you're thinking about this move, or helping someone you love make that decision, please don't skip this. These 5 hard truths could protect your peace of mind, your sense of purpose, even your health. And hey, before we dive in, let's talk. Share your voice. If you've ever wondered what really goes on behind those clean white walls and 24-hour care promises, comment, "I'm here," below. Because you matter. And here on Elder Talks Daily, this is your space. A place where we talk openly, age wisely, and care deeply. Let's begin. Let me tell you about Mr. Jenkins. A retired math teacher. A man who lived by numbers, patterns, and personal rituals. For decades, he started every morning the same way, 6 a.m. Sharp, he'd wake up, stretch by the window, brew his coffee just right, and sit quietly as the sun poured into his kitchen. No alarms. No interruptions. Just peace. Then he moved into a nursing home. Suddenly, his mornings weren't his anymore. Breakfast is served at 8, whether you're hungry or not. Miss it? That's it until lunch. Want to take a walk before you eat? Not unless a staff member is free. Lights out by 9:30 p.m. No late-night reading, no phone calls with an old friend across time zones. Now Mr. Jenkins drinks lukewarm coffee from a styrofoam cup at a table he didn't choose, with people he didn't ask to sit with, at a time that doesn't feel right. And the worst part? He stopped stretching. He stopped waking early. He stopped choosing, because there's no room for choice when everything's on someone else's clock. See, that's what no one prepares you for. Nursing homes aren't designed around your life. They're designed around their schedule. It's not about cruelty or neglect. It's about efficiency. Staff have dozens of residents to care for. So the easiest way to manage it all? Standardize everything. Meals, medications, showers, lights out. But here's the quiet tragedy. When you lose control over the tiny things, when you can't decide when to wake up, eat, or even go to the bathroom on your own time, your spirit starts to shrink. You stop feeling like you. And people think, well, at least you're safe. You've got care 24/7. But being safe and being alive aren't the same thing. You're not looking for a 5-star vacation, you're looking for dignity. And dignity comes from choices, no matter how small. So before you or someone you love makes this move, ask the hard questions. Can I wake when I want? Can I keep my morning rituals? Can I say no to a scheduled activity without being scolded like a child? Even small freedoms matter. Because when your life becomes a schedule written by someone else, you stop living by choice, and start existing by permission. But daily routines aren't the only freedom that slips away once those doors close. There's something else you don't realize until it's gone: your privacy. Let's talk about that. Privacy used to be something you didn't even think about. Closing your bedroom door. Taking a shower without a second thought. Saying what's on your mind without worrying about someone overhearing. But once you move into a nursing home, that quiet, invisible boundary, your personal space, starts to disappear. You might be sharing a room with someone you've never met. Someone with different routines, different needs, different moods. Your bedtime might not match theirs. They might like their TV loud. They might talk in their sleep. And suddenly, you're adjusting, not because you want to, but because you have to. Even the walls feel thinner. Staff come in throughout the day. Sometimes to help. Sometimes to check vitals. Sometimes just doing their rounds. And even when it's done with care, there's this constant feeling that your time and your space no longer fully belong to you. You can't lock your door. You can't always choose when to be alone. Even conversations with family on the phone feel exposed. And for some, like Mrs. Clara, who spent her life valuing solitude and reflection, that shift was more than uncomfortable, it was suffocating. She once told her daughter, "I haven't been truly alone in months. Not even for 5 minutes." That kind of loss goes deeper than most people realize. And here's the truth: privacy isn't just about having a room to yourself. It's about the ability to be yourself, to breathe, to decompress, to exist without performance or interruption. Many people assume that seniors in care don't mind these things. That at a certain age, maybe it doesn't matter anymore. But it does. It matters more than ever. So if you're helping someone make this decision, or considering it for yourself, ask the questions that don't show up on the tour checklist. Can I request time alone? Will staff respect my quiet hours? Are there spaces for silence, not activities, not games, just peace? Because when your world gets smaller, the need for personal space only grows louder. And when that privacy fades, so does a part of you. Still, even with all the people around, the next truth is often the most unexpected. You can be surrounded by others, and still feel completely alone. Let's talk about that. T's a strange thing, isn't it? Being in a building full of people, residents, nurses, aides, visitors, and yet, you feel invisible. Conversations happen around you, not with you. Laughter echoes down the hallway, but none of it includes your name. That's the kind of loneliness nobody talks about. People assume that moving into a nursing home means you'll make new friends, stay socially active, be part of a community. And sure, there are activity calendars, games, crafts, even movie nights. But for many residents, those moments feel forced. Surface level. A schedule to follow, not a connection to feel. Mrs. Annie used to have a tight circle of friends. Coffee dates, Sunday walks, birthday phone calls. But when she moved into care, that circle dissolved. Not out of malice. Just distance. People got busy. Visits became less frequent. Calls fewer. And while she was surrounded by people every day, she told her daughter, "They're not my people. They don't know me. And I don't know them." And that's the truth no one puts in the brochure. Being around people doesn't mean you feel connected. You miss your home. Your community. Your church group. Your stories. You start to feel like you're just floating. Like a name on a clipboard instead of a person with a past, a family, a sense of humor. And here's the thing, loneliness doesn't always look like sadness. Sometimes, it looks like silence. Declining invitations. Faking a nap to avoid social hour. Or just staring out the window for hours, not because the view is beautiful, but because it's the only part of your day that doesn't require pretending. So what can you do? If you're visiting a loved one, visit often. Bring them bits of their world. Play old songs. Talk about memories. Bring the grandkids, even if it's just for 10 minutes. Show up. And if you're the one living in care, advocate for familiarity. Ask to sit by the same people at meals. Request visits from volunteers who share your interests. Hang up photos that spark memories. Because real connection doesn't happen in bingo halls. It happens in the knowing. Someone remembering your favorite story, your laugh, your quirks. And when that sense of connection fades, when that loneliness lingers long enough, it doesn't just stay in the heart. It starts affecting the mind. Let's talk about what happens next, the kind of decline that creeps in quietly, and takes more than most people expect. It doesn't happen overnight. There's no big event. No loud warning. It's just little things at first. You forget what day it is. You stop calling people back. You sit longer, speak less, and feel like you're drifting, not just away from others, but from yourself. That's what happened to Mr. Luis. He was sharp before the move. He read the paper every morning, did crossword puzzles in pen, and never missed his favorite Sunday show. 6 months into nursing home life, his daughter noticed something was off. He started repeating questions. He forgot her birthday for the first time in 40 years. He once mistook a nurse for his late sister. It was heartbreaking. But it wasn't just age. It was the environment. Because when your surroundings become unfamiliar, your choices are stripped away, and your routines dissolve, your mind starts to follow. And emotionally? The weight of it is heavy. You start questioning your worth. You feel forgotten, even if your name is still on the family calendar. The spark that once made you begins to dim. And here's the painful part, most people just say, it's just part of getting old. But it's not always. Mental and emotional decline can be accelerated by isolation, by overstimulation, by understimulation, by feeling like life is happening to you, not with you. Let me be clear, nursing homes aren't all the same. Some do an incredible job of engaging residents, offering memory care programs, encouraging hobbies, and nurturing emotional well-being. But others? They run on survival, not soul. People get their meds, their meals, their vitals checked, but not their minds fed. Not their hearts nurtured. And the saddest part? Once the decline starts, it's hard to reverse. Not impossible. But hard. So if you're helping someone make this decision, look beyond the furniture and the fancy entryway. Ask, are there mental stimulation programs? Are there spaces for quiet reflection? Do staff talk with residents, or just at them? Because when the mind starts to fade, it's not just about memory. It's about identity. It's about holding on to who you are. And if we don't protect that, the next loss is the hardest one. Because it's not about schedule or space or even connection. It's about the slow, quiet fading of a person's sense of self. Let's talk about that next. There comes a moment, sometimes after weeks, sometimes after months, when you look in the mirror, and you don't quite recognize the person staring back. Not because of age or wrinkles or the gray in your hair. But because something inside feels distant. Muted. Faded. That's the quiet erosion of identity. Ms. Geraldine was once the heartbeat of her neighborhood. The seamstress everyone called for weddings, christenings, and school uniforms. She had stories, sass, and pride in every stitch she made. Her hands were strong, and her spirit even stronger. But after moving into a nursing home, she wasn't known for her skill anymore. She was just room 206, needs moderate assistance with dressing. No one asked about the dresses she designed. No one brought her fabric to run between her fingers. No one called her the best with a needle in town. She became a checklist. A care plan. A resident. And it wore on her. Her daughter once brought her sewing kit during a visit, hoping to reignite that spark. But Ms. Geraldine just stared at it, then quietly said, "I don't even know what I'd make anymore. Nobody needs it here." That's what happens when people stop being seen. Because identity isn't just what you do. It's who you are when people remember your past, respect your passions, and include your history in your present. When that's gone, it's like living in a shell of yourself. And here's the hard truth, it's easy for institutions, no matter how well-meaning, to reduce people to needs and routines. To focus on the body while the soul goes untouched. But everyone wants to feel like they still matter. That they're still someone. Not a patient. Not a case. Not a task. So if there's one thing to remember, it's this: bring pieces of the past into the present. Hang photos. Play their favorite music. Ask about their stories. Encourage staff to learn their names, not just from a chart, but from a real conversation. Because when people are reminded of who they are, they start to become themselves again. Even in the smallest ways, the way they smile. The way they sit up straighter. The way their eyes light up when someone calls them by an old nickname. Losing your identity doesn't happen in one big moment. It fades slowly, every time someone forgets to see you. And if no one notices in time, it becomes the deepest loss of all. Hearing all this isn't easy. I know that. Because maybe you're already seeing these signs. In your mother, who used to hum while cooking, now sits in silence. In your grandfather, who once told long, winding stories, now just stares at the wall. Or maybe, in yourself. And it's painful. Because the truth is, we don't always realize what's being lost, until it's already gone. And then we're left with guilt. Questions. Doubts. Did I push too hard for this move? Did I miss the signs? Is this really what's best? But I want you to know something, you are not a bad person for wanting safety. You are not selfish for needing help. You are not careless for making a choice with the information you had at the time. This isn't about blame. It's about awareness. Because once you know, once your eyes are open to the deeper impact of these changes, you're not helpless. You're equipped. You can ask different questions. You can demand better care. You can visit more often, bring more memories, advocate for choices that preserve dignity, not just comfort. And if you're already in this situation, feeling the weight of regret or loss, please, don't give up. There is still time to reclaim pieces of what's fading. Time to bring joy back in small, powerful ways. Time to help someone feel seen again. Because here's the truth, caring for someone in their later years isn't just about medicine and meals. It's about making sure they still feel human. Still feel valuable. Still feel like themselves. You don't need a medical degree to do that. You just need love. Patience. And the willingness to see what others overlook. That's where healing begins. That's where dignity lives. And that's the kind of care that changes lives, not just for them, but for you, too. Let's take a moment to breathe this in. We've covered a lot. And if your heart feels heavy right now, that's okay. It means you care. It means you see what others might miss. So let's quickly recap the 5 hard truths we've uncovered today: the quiet loss of control over your daily life. The disappearance of personal space and privacy. The deep loneliness that can exist even in a crowded building. The creeping decline of mental and emotional sharpness. And finally, the slow, silent fading of identity. These aren't easy to hear. But they are necessary. Because when you understand what really happens behind those polished hallways and activity charts, you can start asking the right questions. Making better choices. Not just for others, but for yourself. And I want to ask you something, have you seen any of these signs in someone you love? Maybe in a parent, a spouse, a neighbor? Or maybe, you've felt a few yourself? Tell me in the comments. Let's make this a space where real conversations happen. A space where honesty lives. Because if these truths stay buried in silence, nothing changes. But when we talk about them, really talk about them, we create room for change. For healing. For better care. And if this video touched something in you, if it made you think, reflect, or even cry a little, please consider subscribing to Elder Talks Daily. This isn't just a channel. It's a community. A place for truth-telling, for learning, for loving our elders well. And don't forget to like the video. It helps others, people who may be walking this same road, find it. Sometimes, all it takes is one video to make someone feel seen. You're not alone. You never were. Thank you for giving me your time today. Hold your loved ones a little closer. Ask one more question. Make one more visit. Because in the end, it's not the place that matters most, it's the people. And the love we bring with us, no matter where we go. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care. And take heart.